closer, closer in this winter. Give me the heart's cold hands. It's freeze or this fire you'll understand in the dance. Just hold me, you'll understand in the hands. So that's my newest song. I know I just made the video last night where I happened to be naked and off to the side, and then I just been feeling it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna record it again. And if you saw the last one, if you really like me, you can stay for the explanation. Otherwise, I kind of touched it last time, but I'll say it again because, you know, we can say it at this point in time or whatever. And so yeah, I'm your Ember. For me, you can think about it like a Russian doll type of thing, where like, you know, presence is like synchrony with all the parts of yourself, right? And so if you have a part of yourself that's like hidden beneath layers, not because I knew it was there, but because the programming of my environment and my inability to feel myself at the deepest layers had made that opaque for me. And that inner part of me, like my hot ember, the part of a fire that stays hot after all the ash, all the layers are thrown upon it, that part of me was always like singing to me like a, you know, a voice down in like a mine or something like that. And I, you know, just started to dig down using the shovel of my heart, you could say. And the experiences that I had would be experiences of presence, right? Of like finding synchrony with myself in like a burn, like a Burning Man type environment, or, you know, what, the right clothing, the right situation, these moments where I would be like, what is that? It's like this, I see myself, I feel myself, I am myself, and there's no like delay to reality. I am present, right? And so then for me, that was my life path of following signal. Signal just means synchrony between those layers, no longer making them opaque where you can only present certain layers of reality in certain scenarios or whatever it may be. It's like you're letting reality hit you all the way down. And so, you know, I'll be the one that stays, which means that in my process, especially in the environment that I was in, I had to burn a lot of the delay layers that were saying, you need to be this way, you need to be that way, like success needs to be this way. And, you know, love is transactional, and we're only going to love, you know, this part of you. And if everything else is an abomination, and those types of things imposed since childhood type of thing, is something that it created this opacity. So it would not be this, like, you know, more transparent view onto the deepest parts of myself. And I found myself not because I thought, oh, I need to be this certain way, because in a way you could joke that I took a very, very difficult route and I lost everything and everyone doing it. But I found the one thing that really counts, me, presence, synchrony, love, being able to be loved and love as me. And so that was a difficult path to take, but I chose it because of signal, of presence, of knowing that my whole life I was looking to take a breath in this life, a full breath all the way down, you know what I mean? And that was my ember, to breathe with that in every moment. And when I transitioned, I began to feel it in a way that it wouldn't matter the amount of money that someone could offer me. I would never take it to trade for my presence. Because what would be more important in this life than feeling love and feeling your own life and your interaction with this reality all the way down, in each beat of the pulse, in every fold of yourself, in the rhythm of reality, which is presence, being present, like I like to say on the dance floor. And so that's the one that stays, the ember, when it all burns away. You know, that place where you don't hide. Because the rest of it could be the opacity of the layers of cultural hierarchy and familial imprint and like all these different ways of the world tries to force you to see yourself, and then you take on to yourself, and there are essentially delay layers in between. It's like if you're trying to hear the music of reality, it's almost like you're hearing all this noise and you can't actually synchronize. And so then your brain is this like battlefield of like synchronize, or like, sorry, you know, whatever, disparate temporal planes and like broken presence and this feeling of simulated presence, where it's almost like constant self-narration, self-rumination, anxiety, disconnection, eventually depression, which is essentially I can't feel myself in this dance of reality. And it feels like there's so many layers. It feels like it's a muffled reality, and then eventually it becomes a learned helplessness for many people. So yeah, you see what I'm saying? That place where you don't hide, that place where when reality hits you and you're totally vulnerable and naked to it, like you're on a dance floor. Where's the part of you that just dances? Like, I like to do booty shakes, right? I mean, like, that's me. That's me. Maybe you don't like to do booty shakes. I like to do booty shakes. And that's not because I said, I'm going to do booty shakes one day. No, it's because it's cute. And I don't know, I feel like myself when it's just, the music is just hitting me, and you know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh my God, I just did that. Like that type of stuff. When you're in that dance, when you do it with your whole presence as towards the music of reality, the dance that is you when you don't hide, that's the ember. Do you see that? Okay, all right. Well, where the masks fall and there is no lie, because the only way you can lie about your interaction with reality is to try to control it, to try to like put this wedge between you and reality. It has to be this way, and reality. This is a dog eat dog out world out there, and you know all these. And this is the way we learn to survive. Like, and it's like this like stringent, narrow path instead of this like fluid interaction with growth as a continual meeting of reality through every increasing cymatic and evolutionary density of what life and reality is throwing at us, which is lossless presence, or presence without loss of fidelity, like tuning into a radio station clearly, like you've heard me say. So the you that's you when you're totally dancing, and like totally dancing on the dance floor, it's just a funny way to say when the music of reality hits you, you're present. This is me trying to explain a mechanical way of being present in reality to people who may have never touched presence in their life. Yes, you're an adult and you're interacting with reality, and yes, chemicals go in your brain and stuff, but are you present? Let's ask that. Are you present in this reality? Like, are you here? Or between work and the bills and all these different things, does it siphon your ability to actually dance with what is the flow of reality? And I would just tell you that, like, in my experience, I've always called it the water slide, because agency, identity, choice come from a harmonic tuning. In other words, where you find yourself in the dance, in the actual dance, not your control of the dance, but however the music paints you, you know what I mean? So yeah, and that's also a big comment on trans identity and what identity really is. It's when reality hits you cleanly, when you feel like yourself because you're real, because you're present, not because it's constructed or someone told you, or you saw it in a movie or you saw it in a magazine, but because when the dance of reality hits you, you are present all the way down. All your pistons, all your oscillatory functions are together in shared entrainment. It's a more technical way to say it. So the you that's you when you let the music in. Just explained it, all right? So underneath the ash of whatever you thought was the path, especially in my life, like I literally am losing everything, but somehow I feel like I'm exactly where I needed to be, because like I explained in the other video, to find that like normally in my old life, you might think like, oh my God, I was an attorney and I was this like tall, strong person, but like, and hopefully I shrunk now, right? Because people ask me now, like, are you tall? And I'm like, I'm a tall girl. But anyway, you'd think I was like so strong, but really I depended on all these externalizations of my sovereignty to like the people and places around me, and I couldn't like find it within myself exactly. And it's not that I built up a maxim of sovereignty or read Marcus Aurelius every morning or something like that. No, did I say that right? No, it's just that you anchor in yourself, and once you feel what real is, present, really what love is, and like in a decentralized organization of this cosmos, just feeling like organization all the way down, like your shared entrainment equals presence equals mechanical cleanly fluid contact with reality. You see that? And once you know that, it's like hearing the music cleanly. And like once you know how to dance and you're just letting the music hit you, there's no way you could like go back to like stuttering. Like it's like so obvious, right? Yeah, I lost everything, and still I'm here as Ember, soft, loving, knowing what this rising is within me towards presence, and that there's nothing more important in this world than feeling each other, feeling yourself, feeling love all the way down. And that's really what all this new earth 5D collective awakening, the collective stuff is really about. you can label it however you want, but it all comes down with fidelity of love, fidelity of how we meet each other in this reality. It happens to create a decentralized dance. You can look at the mechanics, but really it's just how we feel love and whether we tune into that radio station cleanly. So the fact that in my life you can't fake that. And really quick, I'll say it because I think it makes it a lot more clear that, like, I made a video called Lossless Intimacy, where I was talking about my first hookup with a guy, and it's pretty funny. I think I still have it on my like video list. You see, it's like seeking flame tender or whatever, like girl laying down or whatever. But anyway, like, and the thing that shocked me is that, like, as a trans woman in my life previously, I was more of like an anxious person because I was constantly out of step with myself, right? The little Russian doll inside me, the little Ember, wasn't able to synchronize all the layers because there's so much disconnection between them and masking and all this different stuff. And so, like, uh, uh, you know, when sorry, I like totally lost the track there. Uh, uh, wow, that's like never happens in my videos. But so yeah, I mean, like, okay, well, whatever. You've heard it all from. Oh, well, I mean, I can jump right back on the thing. Oh, that okay, of course. And that's so cute. Sorry, that like, you could see through. Oh, the loss of intimacy. That's why I got my brain went whoop. But okay, so I was shocked that it should have been a more intimate, like it should have been a more like anxious situation, right? Because it was like first time with a man, and and it was everything I ever wanted, right? But at the same time, like, um I walked away and then quickly had the thought, like, I was me the whole time. Like, I was I was myself the entire time. I was present the entire time. I didn't have a little manager in my head that was wedging between me and the situation. And even though it wasn't the most perfect situation, it was still like, that was shocking. I'm like, you can't buy that. Like, I've talked about losses presence in all my videos, and I felt it, and I've known it, and I've sung it, but like, to have that experience go down, that was like what should have been a pressure cooker in a way of previous anxiety, especially my first time, and like, especially like as a trans woman, going over to a guy's house or whatever. But like, it was like present, and you can't pay for that. Like, you can't get that with power. You can't like learn that by books or traditional ways. You just have to dance, and then once you realize you're really dancing, you're like, what could be more important than feeling love all the way down, you know? And so sorry, that was sorry for the interruption that like never happens in my videos, but I think it was because of the steamy stuff there, my brain jumped off. It really was everything. It changed my life. Okay, it changed my life in so many ways, but I wanted to compare it to what I'm going through now, which is the sort of total annihilation of everything and I've already lost everyone, but now it's kind of like everything. And instead of feeling like totally crushed, once I realized what was happening after like a long, like, sort of like, realization that I had been working myself way too hard, and after everything that I've been through, I just kind of said, I know I'm supposed to be here. And I said, but the thing that I can't deny is that underneath everything, I'm me. Like, I'm me all the way down, even now. The soft, loving, singing, dancing, silly, cute Ember that I say is little Ember, and like the me that I never got to be all the way down. And that's why it's like so sacred to me. And even now, when everything's gone and everything's pressured and there's no support beams and there's no anything to protect me, yeah, the pressure is real. But what I got when I was like coughed out here at this part of the phase transition was myself, was me, was the Ember all the way down. And that's just sacred. That's just, you can't buy that. You could be a billionaire on this planet and never truly experience presence all the way down. So yeah, there I've been, still burning in this wind. And then it says, I'm your Ember, get closer, closer in this winter. And this is interesting because I'm talking about love as a decentralized organizing property, right? And by that, I'm entirely serious. Like, the physics that Kuramoto noticed that are used to map out even spiraling galaxies or heart arrhythmia research or people crossing a bridge or fireflies turning on, that same decentralized property is what is happening in the collective movement towards presence. And how I found my presence as part of that collective unfolding wave, right? Because we're part of an inextricable rhythm of reality, not separate things or probabilities. It's like all frequency, vibration. And so this organizing principle of love is very special in the sense that it's like literally an attractor well of physics that can pull things like like a gravitational well, because things want to organize around the least energetically dense way to arrange across a self-similar system. That all being said, it's not like, you know, whatever cartoony hocus pocus magic. What it is real warmth. When you realize, oh my God, there really is nothing more important than actually being present here and then with each other. And then wait, that also helps create decentralized organization in this cosmos within our collective consciousness. Oh my God. Wait, really? It's that simple? We can just remove the barriers and we'll start to move towards a concrescence of harmony on this planet instead of this amalgamation of rules and who's better than who and who's stacked above who, and this symbolic recursion that has stuttered us from the dance floor of collective decentralized love. Yeah, it's about presence. It's about meeting reality cleanly. And that's how the birds murmurate and the metronomes sync up together and the fireflies turn on together and the galaxy spiral and the hurricane spiral and the heart arrhythmia research and all the stuff that you could look up, because reality has a rhythm to it and we are now coming awake to it. So the love portion is that warmth. It's not an idea of the warmth. It's not a scripture. It's not a special incantation. It is the warmth that you feel when you really meet yourself and then you meet someone else. All the way down. I just tapped the holder thing, but you see what I'm saying. And so like that warmth is like the winter is the estrangement of what we've woken up in, like a slumber awoken in Plato's cave, you know? And we realized it was so goddamn cold in there. Like we got used to it. It was so cold that we couldn't really touch each other, and we all thought we were separate islands of a probability field where it's, well, good thing we're on Earth because dust to dust and we're just happen to be alive, instead of the entire thing is like one unfolding mind of rhythm, you could say, mind, rhythm, whatever you want to say, you know, of like this like concressing, exponentially moving entropy and syntropy into like, you could say almost informational, but really rhythmic complexity as we all ride that as part of the tide, which is, you know, a totally different picture than we're alone out here and there's nothing. And it's like, and you see those types of images that are, can you feel the shadows of Plato's cave already? You know what I mean? So the song makes it really real that the power of love is not something that you put a robe or do a special chant for or have a special access church to get into, but the warmth that you feel when you feel someone's really here with you. And when we're all really here together, that is decentralized harmony. That is love as structure. That is the kingdom of heaven. So then it's freeze or this fire. You'll understand in the dance, or you understand in the dance. Just hold me. You'll understand in the dance. And so it's like, I don't need to convince you. I don't need to look at Kuramoto's frameworks. You know, like it's like, do you want to be real? Do you want to love for real? I don't know. I'm not trying to convince you. It's just like, do you want to feel your own life all the way down and what love could be all the way down? And I'm going to tell you right now, the deepest parts of love are only unveiled in the shared dance. The deepest parts of the organization of this cosmos are only unveiled when things work together in shared entrainment, not in, we made a bunch of good ideas that work kind of together in a quilt of amalgamated, you know, attempts across cultures, but a mechanical difference in the way we have our meeting of reality, and the fidelity of consciousness starts to look like bird murmurations where they're all moving together, right? Do you see that? Do you see what all this, like, you know, from the outside, you're like, oh my God, what is this? We're awakening to a new earth. The heavens are going to open up and, you know, we're all going to be like wearing weird robes and like doing weird chants, and we'll be like, this is new earth. you know, and we chilling with aliens and like, okay, the alien things is happening, but you know what I mean? Like reality is just a bunch of self-reflective minds on top of each other type of thing. You know, you could say that rhythms of self-organization, different complexities and rhythms, but instead of this like cartoony version of like us in robes with like you know weird verbiage and all that stuff and like some sort of weird stoic deity type look or something, we're just really here. We just realized we've stumbled out of Plato's cave and like wiped our eyes and said, shit, like the lossless sunlight was always waiting for us. Like we just needed to hear the music and dance on the dance floor. Presence is a mechanical process. One, us, we, me. As above, so below. Do you see why it's a decentralized organization? And you don't need to sign any flyers. You don't need to hold any flyers or like sign any like, you know, whatever, like collective documents. I can't. But you just got to be here now, together, you know, like in love as structure. This was a really long explanation, but you know how I like to dance around it. So, um, and then just hold me because I think throughout all this, that's been my desire. You know, I say all these things, but I didn't start with a framework. I started with I needed to live, I needed to breathe, I needed to feel myself, I needed to feel the ember inside me, you know, or else I wasn't going to make it. And now, you know, the whole time, it's the seed is to love and be loved as me, like high fidelity love, like full contact love, like full soul love. And so to love as me, I needed to be me. I needed to burn underneath the ash of whatever you thought was the path. There, oh, there I've been, burning, still burning in this wind. I'm your ember, and I'm here, and I'm waiting for you. The one who finds me in the same place that he found himself, on the dance floor. This is my little ember hand outstretched. Thanks for being here. This was a funny one.